This is the Truth Frequency Radio Network.
We are TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio. When you finally boil it all down, magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. Shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. What is up, everyone? That's right. It's your boy Frank Castle, the Sorcerer Supreme, right here on Saturday nights, truthfrequencyradio.com. And I'm here with my etherical translator, Paula Milo.
Hey, everyone.
What is up? How you doing?
I'm good.
Before we start the show, special shout-outs to Chris and Cherie Gio. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here doing this, so thank you very much for sending you love. What's up to the chat room? And don't forget to check out we are fearless.com. We have a lot of crazy designs on T-shirts and on different clothing. The artists we work with are just awesome. I have nothing but amazing things to say about the Fearless family team. Don't forget to check them out. 50% of all purchases go directly to the artist so they can be
fearless
and artists. They don't have to worry about the other stuff. So many shout outs to you guys. And if you like any of the music you hear, HEISTCLICK, Heist Click. What? Heist Click. What? That's Heist Click, HEISTCLICK. I just kept going with that for a second just to watch her face peel back. We're in amazingly good spirits right now, which is really awesome news.
Well, there was no entity sabotage happening tonight. It was just a peaceful evening.
You know, one of the things I did earlier, and we had a very small piece of steak tonight for dinner. Right? Wait. So I went for a walk. I came home, we ate. And I always know when there's red meat involved, the evening, or a lot of heavy pasta, all things, well, I'm a fan of the pasta more so than the meat these days by a lot. But pasta, still no bueno. But just the right amount.
Yes, just
the right amount. And it usually starts with the heaviness, because this whole beginning of the show is going to be about symptoms of what's been happening, at least for the first part of the show, because it's been getting completely out of control. And I've been watching people fall literally out of this realm, one after another. And it's been so crazy. Right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So last week I lost a friend from a heart attack. Then another friend of mine, and both of these guys are like 44 years old. The other friend has a heart attack, and he survives, but the other one doesn't. Then I'm on a microdose mission. In between these people's passing was your birthday, my brother's birthday, right? Leading right into the show, and then William Wycrow passes, heart attack.
Yeah, that was hard. That was a hit.
Very, very difficult time. And then progressively during the experience of the 14 days. I'm going to stick with the 14 days, but I wrote out the last few days. I'm already finished the microdose, so we're only on day 2 of what's been going on. But somewhere towards the end, the last like 7 days, the last half into this week, horror show level, right? Events that just put you down for the count.
Oh yeah, one event after another.
Like how much before you get weak in the knees and pass out?
Yeah.
How much before you get nauseous from it and throw up?
Very energy draining events recently.
So, all right. Before the show tonight, way earlier, we had eaten. I laid in bed, and all I wanted to do was just lay down next to you. I was like, "Come on, let's just lay down. I just want to lay down." Right? My energy was draining quickly. Now, I had went on a little bit of a mission earlier. I went to my house, and my house had some issues, and I went in there like the golden shaman, sent the energy everywhere, but because everyone has one little thing they need worked on, right? Mother's got shoulder pain from that injury. My grandmother's got a little bit of touch of Alzheimer's going on, and my grandfather's having trouble walking. We had trouble in the house when someone has Alzheimer's or dementia. Okay, they and Paula and I are straight up witness to this. They're not in their right mind. I don't want to say this the wrong way, and I feel really bad because I'm talking a little bit about my grandmother. But you can watch the slipping in and out of
consciousness.
Yeah, in and out of running the machine, the flesh machine. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
In and out of consciousness, right? So that bumbling around where she's just walking around touching things, and she's there still. Hey, Grandma, hey, what? Oh, have some coffee. She'll ask you 80 times. You want coffee? You want tea? You want? So she's in there, and she's rocking and rolling, and then it slips out.
Right.
Right. During those times, and this happened when I was living in the house. I was wondering why there was always a dark entity in the house, something looming, and I always thought it was other people coming because we had a lot of guests all the time. My house was filled with 1 billion people. So I went under and I saw Viola. She was the generator to all of it. There was nothing else coming in. Nothing was coming in. It was her generating some kind of, all right, and then Grandpa got hurt, right? And then he started, now he never had a real serious injury his entire life. Then he falls, breaks something.
A couple of years ago,
and then he heals and he falls again immediately and breaks his ankle or something, and now he's completely in fear.
Yes.
Right? Like, I'm afraid to do this. I'm afraid to do that.
Yes. So this has been for the last couple of years. The first fall took place. I think he broke his ankle first, and then he broke his shoulder. And I think that took a toll out on
and he's
Viola.
in his 80s, right? So it not only does it take a toll, it sets that disease in motion.
I think that, we talk about coming from a place of hope, or looking at a situation from a place of hope, or looking at a situation from a place of fear. And it definitely made him afraid after those 2 falls to resume a normal life.
It's hard.
It's very hard.
Okay, so you've never taken a drug, really? Like
no,
he did
nothing more than
maybe when he was a little kid. I've heard some stories. He was a bit of an alcoholic. But that's it. Never put one of the pills in his mouth. Now he needs Xanax, right, to calm
down,
just to bring it down a notch. They're baby ones, right? But that fear, the anxiety
that goes with it, and that's what's happening to Viola now.
And you could watch it sweep over them.
Yes.
Right? So they're fine. And then they're in panic or not there. During those moments, it's like an open invitation to just come right in and take a seat.
Other entities to try to come in and try to drain that energy. It's like a fear wheel. They're eating off of the fear wheel.
I like that word, fear wheel. The fear machine pumps and doesn't stop, right? Now, we're just energy and pulling in other energy, right? We're like a transmitter and a receiver.
Yep.
So all it takes is you to get clocked a little bit and you to start going, fear wheel, fear wheel, fear wheel, fear wheel. Say that 3 times, right? And you're in it. It's on.
Yeah, you get stuck in it. Yeah.
Okay, what I've noticed from the higher levels is that when I have a really crappy thought that'll put me out of my emotional range, something there, it'll just ruin everything for me. I notice it almost looks like a mirror is in front of me, and the mirror is a doorway, right? So if I'm like, yeah, I'm afraid to go out because I don't want to cross the street, and I don't, right? So I see the first mirror. It goes, ding. She's agreeing with me. And then I go outside, and you're like, don't worry about it, right? So we'll go, and I go, oh no, there's a car in the street, and I don't want to cross that street. That boom, another mirror is developed, and it starts facing downward, right? And then you jump into these, and the fear starts going.
A downward spiral.
One piece of fear mirror after another, and you're just breaking these mirrors, going down into the. And I always pull myself out because I could see that it's dragging me down, literally.
Yeah.
It doesn't. My words, although they come out of me like Frank is fearless and whatever, it takes everything in me to not lose it, just like everyone else. And Paula as well.
Of course.
Well, people go, well, it's you. So you did it or you're doing it. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm standing here right now thinking I'm about to pop. And you're going, oh, well, Frank's got it. And I'm like, nah, man.
No,
it's difficult.
It's a practice. It is definitely something that we put into practice because it's not easy. I mean, there is, Facebook and social media and getting your news as soon as it happens and being able to share the news as soon as it happens. I mean, people are getting information so much quicker these days.
They want that emotional response to be smashing as quick as the news is.
Exactly. And you can't, it's too much stimulation. It really is. It's too much to process.
You know what's funny? Oh, this isn't funny at all, actually. But if you turn on the TV and the TV is pumping fear, but you go outside and the sun's out, there's nothing going on. Everything's safe and sound in your neighborhood. Is that the cat making noise?
Yeah, I got a lot. He's crying.
All right. Sorry about that. These have been some trying times. All the levels of attitudes and frequencies are being maxed out. I mean, absolutely maxed out. You have to separate yourself from the mechanics of this, and you need to start practicing. I don't want to say you need to start practicing. That sounds rude. It's best if everyone started practicing being able to do these things because the pressure is not going to go away at this point, right? But you can ease the pressure by easing into this through your symptoms, knowing you're not sick, you're not running to the doctor and throwing more pills into yourself.
Right.
None of that's actually what's going on. The symptoms are layers being peeled off of you energetically. Oh, he's soaking wet. I just grabbed a wet.
He's soaking
Not going to
wet
say it.
He's dirty.
Oh, man.
We rescued two. Well, you all know our Phillies family. We rescued two cats that
is soaking wet.
That are they're just bad. And we have one.
Oh, man.
One. His name is Buddy, and we call him a dirt monster because he just is a dirt magnet. He just came in from outside in the rain, and
he's
now
the dirt murderer,
making dirt paw prints everywhere. But I'll deal with it after.
Yeah. So during these times, hey, no, don't not on the Cape.
Come on.
So during these times, what'll appear is symptoms just getting progressively worse.
Yeah.
Right. So the symptoms will keep pushing. You'll notice it with yourself. Right? Oh, today I don't feel good. I have a cough. My throat hurts. My head hurts. Wait, now my belly hurts. Wait, my knee hurts. I haven't hurt my knee in 20 years. My back. My back's not really doing right. I've been in the gym, but I've been only stretching, but yet that hurts. Then you go home and you start seeing attitudes.
Yep. Those are the depression pains.
Right? So attitudes start flipping and flying around, and right away, all right, when I say be the observer and learn how to be the observer, I'm not saying it so you sit around and do nothing and observe people and then not act. But if you know that outbursts occur during traumatic situations of emotionally charged nonsense, if you interact with that, it charges your energy to intersect that other energy that's doing that. And then you just have more of it. So if that's what's occurring through fear, okay, so you turn your TV on and it's telling you, oh, there's guns everywhere and people are dying everywhere and blah, blah, blah. No, nobody seems to care when Chicago has like 100 shootings and the year just started. Not one person saying anything on the news, but man, they bring out a bunch of kids on the news and they start singing Disney songs. And this is what happens. You go outside and there's nothing happening. Well, what happens is you sit in your house and you start going, oh, everyone's got a gun. Oh, I got to run for my life. All right.
And the fear multiplies.
There's nothing going on but what they're showing you on the TV. And what they're showing you on the TV a lot of times is not real. I'm not going to point out fake news for you guys and be like, look, but what I can tell you is TV is a programming box that's meant to distract you from all the things that you need to do. So while you're watching Seinfeld reruns and you're going through level up symptoms and they're pumping pharmaceutical commercials, you have every symptom on the commercial because you're going through the processes. And then you're like, yo, I better get to a doctor. Right? Like to where you're looking at a freckle and you're like, oh my God, I have an STD. Like they got me running from, it's got to be AIDS. Paula, it's cat AIDS. Come on.
Stop.
It's Buddy Dirt AIDS. I got to go to the doctor right now. I got to get shot up with all kinds of penicillins and medicines and antidepressants and all. And you don't need none of that. What they're doing is all the frequencies are off. All right. So while we're leveling it up and having some pain, you have a box in your house that's projecting an image out of the TV. When I'm under ayahuasca and I look at the TV, it's the only thing that you can't see. It just looks like a distortion box, like a box with distortion, and energy comes out like on the cell phone. It's maybe 16 inches from the phone, right? So Paula's dirty mind. So
stop it.
So 16 inches.
It was Frank.
It's projecting the light that's coming off the surface of the tablet or phone, encases you as if you're looking into a doorway of light, like a small one, but it wraps around your head, like you're putting your head into the energy that the phone's giving off. So when you sit in front of the TV's a bigger one, so it's like 15, 20 feet. It encompasses the room, right? Well, under Aya, it looks like a bug light almost, like a bug zapper.
Yes, moth to a flame.
So everyone's attention keeps going to the box, but under Aya, all you see is the fuzz. And then the energy coming out, and it's programming you. Yes. You can literally see the desired effect of the program that it wants to have on you when you just look up at it. And it's so driving mad that you're just like, yo, shut that off. Like if there's the white screen on while we're sitting here, it's like, no, you got to dull that off because that is pushing that energy through the room and it's grabbing people's attention. Okay, now the fact that it just does that, and I could see that as one thing, then you're in that They Live situation where...
Oh, the movie.
Yeah, where you're now looking at the box and you're watching Seinfeld and the pharmaceutical commercials are going on, but there's more happening.
Behind the scenes.
Okay, so the pixelation rate is flashing at a specific rate to hypnotize you and draw you into it.
Yes.
While you're in that mode, you're in a very low state of almost like a...
Hypnotic state.
Hypnotic state, thank you. I love you so much. All right. So...
You're silly tonight.
I feel good finally again.
I know.
All right.
I know.
I beat the rest. I keep jumping with all this stuff. But, all right, so the TVs are programming you. And then you're sitting there and you're trying to deprogram yourself.
Right.
Now, I'm not telling you to shut your TV off, but I bet you if you looked at your habits, you have a cocaine-type addiction with your television set.
Oh, the same thing with sugar.
Absolutely.
They say that the addictions to sugar is equally as strong as addictions to cocaine.
Now, I was listening the other day. I don't remember who was saying this, and it was so intelligent that the sugar is crystals, sugar crystals. Right?
Oh, Gina was talking about. We were talking about that with Gina.
Okay, so it's actual crystals.
Yes.
Okay, so what do we use here? This is what freaked me out. This is how it's in plain sight. All right, we know sugar's bad, blah, blah, blah. This was different. You're putting in the sugar, and the sugar's crystals, and crystals, we have them all over the house. Each one does a special certain thing.
They manipulate energy.
Thank you. So these sugar crystals are going into you, and then the programming through the crystals, because you can program a crystal.
Oh, I think there's the programming through the preservatives, through the foods that we eat. You know, we were talking about this the other day too. Food is not supposed to last forever. It's supposed to be consumed, and that's it. You're not supposed to have food in cabinets forever.
Right.
You know,
so
I mean,
food is all right. This is where I'm trying to get at. You're so right, but it's like programmable food matter, organic matter that you ingest.
Yes.
That's programmable
Yes.
in advance.
Yes.
To create. It won't be like specific, like throat cancer or lung cancer. It's cancer somewhere. It activates those systems in you to make you fat, lethargic, slow, sick,
changes your
swollen.
DNA.
Thank
Some
you.
of it changes your DNA. You know, I mean, supplements and such, and you know, I mean, everyone. We're not going to go through the foods
Physically
on the market,
changing your
but
DNA. Okay, so excuse me. Fluoride is changing your DNA to make you docile. Oh no.
I'll get them.
All right. So as you're drinking it and it's your routine, it's keeping you within that state. Long-term effects, then the disease set in. Then now you're in the system. But all I drink is water. I'm so healthy. I only eat certain foods. Well, they processed foods. I was trying to explain this to my mother. We were having the talk about losing weight. And I'm like, she's like, yo, my shoulder's killing me. And I know it's a pinched nerve and possibly a tear. And I'm like, well, what are you eating? And she's like, what the hell does that one thing have to do with the other? And I'm like, well, you look swollen. Right? So she's like, well, we're in the gym all the time. And she's like, well, I'm barely losing anything and I'm barely doing this. And I'm like, what are you eating? Like 100%. What are you putting in? Well, now I can't have sugar. Now I can't have this. Okay, so you know that the foods you're buying are not like the organic chickens or the free range organic eggs. You're not buying any of that because $4.32 for a dozen eggs makes Grandpa Frank go, I'll kill everybody in this house if I hear the price of anything higher than $1.39 for 12 eggs. Like, you're just like, all right, listen, man, you gotta put the right food in. Well, we're eating the green beans. Okay, yes, but you're eating the green beans that are 39 cents for 400 pounds of them. There's got to be something wrong with them. And you could put them right there out on the dresser and it'll last 12 years.
Oh, like the canned vegetables.
You can't. Okay, so now we're so far into this drama, but yet your body is in the midst of upgrading. And it's already coming through as a sickness to a lot of people.
But I'm agreeing. That's exactly it. These upgrades are coming through as
symptoms of sickness.
Symptoms of colds or the flu or fatigue, depression.
Yes,
so
all of that.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on that has nothing to do with.
Yeah, it's the fact you're putting stuff in you. You're watching certain things. We talk about going out in the rain. We were just making jokes that the cats
are out in the rain.
Right before the show, as the song was on, I was screaming, "Please come back, artificial intelligently free, please."
Yeah, no nanobots.
Nanobot free cats.
Get down.
Yeah, it looks like that didn't work with Buddy too much, but this is all right. So then I watch one of my new Facebook friends. I don't remember his name, and I'm so sorry. He has a million more friends than I do and everything. This dude they collect snow.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
So,
you were showing me the pictures.
Now,
yeah.
I was thinking at first, they're collecting them in dirty buckets and you don't know where he's picking his snow up or whatever. I watched the whole thing. Like, that was just one thing that I showed Paula. It was like 25 pictures of microscopically of what's in the snow.
A slide, yeah.
So I was going, I like what this guy's doing, but then you get sample rates that could be tainted and we don't know where he's getting his snow. And just to find out, there's a whole team of them outside collecting the snow and immediately just throwing it under the microscope.
On a clean slide under a microscope. It was very scary.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you how frightening this is.
I had to stop looking at the picture.
Paula couldn't look at it.
No, I didn't want to look at them.
First of all, there was your basic virus. It was like the ball with the little squigglies out on it, like the virus that look, it's a cold virus. All right, so that was there. Then there was, all right, this is where it's going to get freaky because I had to stop looking for a minute because I couldn't breathe. There was black goo.
Yes.
Right? There were tentacles. It looked like insect.
Nanobots. That's what they look like. They look like tiny little insectoids. And
they were nano. When I say nano, it's technology.
Yep.
So you don't think it's not some Avengers enemy, Dr. Doom is getting nanobots. They're rocking with this stuff, right? Like we've talked about this on the show where you'll close your eyes under Aya and something will interfere. Like you can see your aura and something will just fly through and you'll go, what was that? Right in the middle of the teaching. And they'll go, oh, yeah, all right, you got to clean that. And then you'll go, well, no, could you get it out of me? And they'll go, no, take a look. And it'll magnify because you'll have intent to look at it. And it looks like a little metal insect.
Yep.
Okay, so wait, that's not all. There were these parasitic looking things.
Oh, yes.
This is what drove us mad.
That's where I had to stop looking because I knew what was going to come next.
It almost looked like a shrimp mixed with a tick. Oh, there's the commercial. And these things are floating around
in the snow.
And people are like, oh, let's eat some snow. Yeah, all right. Frank and Paula, your protection from deception. No more eating the dirty snow. And do me a favor, no eating the yellow snow. And buddy,
get off the couch.
We are TFR.
My faith in destiny is all I need to prevail.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Am I awake or is this a dream? It's a dream. A fantasy of where I'd rather be. So come and talk with me. Come and walk with me. Is this a wake-up call from my reality? Have you seen my friends? Have you seen my girl? Wake me up from this. I'm trapped in this world. Thought you were alive until you felt my pain in the surface.
All right, so welcome back. This is FearLess. I'm Frank Castle, the Sorcerer Supreme, and I'm here with Paula Milo, my etherical translator.
You're going to get it. When this is over, you're going to get it.
All right, so let's get with a solution or two. When I say practice and work, I mean meditation. And if you dive into the psychedelics, then that's what you do. If you're in the float tank, it's what you do. If it's just a shower and a song, it's what you do. If it's a walk and a talk.
Just intend it.
Yes.
Just set the intention.
I'm a firm believer that the work is the work you do on yourself and just, in your daily life, and then taking the time for you to work through this stuff. Now, the nanobots, the lizards, the ETs, they're all there. They're not going nowhere. But you need to go somewhere, right? You really do. You need to go. You need to spiral up, right? Spiral up. Paul's just laughing in my face. But the object of the game is to level yourself up to a point where all these drama outbursts and shouts don't drag you directly into the mud.
Drama outbursts and shouts. Okay, so now everything that we said about TV prior to the break is all true. Now, with that being said, we do watch TV, me and Frank.
Everyone watches TV.
No. So we're watching.
Mostly.
We have Amazon Prime, so we're watching the first few seasons of Hell's Kitchen with Gordon Ramsay. So he's talking about outbursts, and it is. I don't know if it's like therapy for me and Frank, but we'll watch an episode, and just sit there in awe at how much this man can scream.
I take deep breaths and go, whoa. And then I laugh sometimes uncontrollably and go, okay.
It's very therapeutic.
Now, but I'll connect it to what we're talking about. When Gordon Ramsay is screaming at one of the chefs, right? You're a donkey, right? So, it's a nonstick pan, it's nonstick, right? When he's doing that and you look at him and don't say anything but yes, chef, no, chef, and get back to work, you become the magnet to the other energy, right? And you connect to it.
Positive energy. Well, when you fight it and when you're rude and disrespectful and you're fighting back, then they're under a different type of energy.
The chef is going to look at you and say, what are you looking at me for? And then he digs into you when you interact with anything but yes, chef, no, chef. Right. But yet season after season and show after show, the drama queens, no, you're a dummy, donkey, chef, no. And they run out crying and they're screaming. These are perfect. Those are extreme examples. But if you don't interact, right? Everybody says the other chef that works with Ramsay's like, shut up and get back to work. Shut up. You're a dummy. Just get back to work. Why are you working? They all say it over and over while the chef is screaming. Just get back to work.
Just do your job.
Right.
Just do the job that you're meant to do.
And they're screaming on purpose to make you disconnect from them eventually. Right. You have to be able to be in a high intense situation because the guy that wins at the end or the girl that wins at the end can be in the kitchen with him screaming and they're like, yes, chef, no, chef. And it looks like they're flying, right? When his team works, they're beautifully oiled. He's not screaming and cursing. Right. He still says what he's got to say and then they move it along. But when you connect, right? Someone's being, well, and then you go, well, Trump, you just incited the connection.
Right.
And now it's on.
You made the connection and now you're going to play it out.
Okay. So I'm going to end that there and say, stop doing that. That's what I mean by being the observer. Don't do that. Right. But if somebody's going to touch a hot stove and you can stop them, hey, what are you doing? Don't touch that. Then that's an observation with a reaction. Start learning that. Practice that in your regular life so it'll pull you out of the bullshit and bring you into the good shit. Okay? Okay, now for the meat and everything, what did I tell you earlier today? Bless that meat. Remove all the fear from it. I mean, beat it to death with your energy.
I did.
Okay, and you did. I still went down for the count and had a rest because my body's not dealing with certain things very well. As soon as I laid down, I said, okay, today's different because this is when you start to, we're all experiencing the crappy frequencies right now. We're trying to adjust to a new program, a new way of being in the environment. So I lay down knowing if I go down 2 hours before the show, I could easily sleep 3 hours nap. My naps are 3 hours straight up. So I'm like, if I do an hour, I don't know if that next hour is going to be good. And that's when the attack always happens. I'm always throwing up, having a rough time. I can't get on the mic. None of the equipment works. I start freaking out. No. But I know this. This is how it's been forever. So this is what I decide to do. I lay there. I say, I'm going to ground myself as I lay here in the first moments before I pass out in meditation. And I'm going to ground myself and I'm putting up my protection. Nothing's going to happen to me. I'm just going to digest this and be in a living meditation just through this next hour and 15 minutes.
And you set your intention.
And my alarm went off and I was up. It was weird. It was like 3 minutes before the alarm. My eye was open already. Yep. And then the phone rang and I answered the phone. And then the alarm went off while I was on the phone. I shut it off. And then I put it back. I got off the phone and everything. I put it back down. I said, I'm going to pass back out for a minute. And the character that weak-ass character of mine that used to get taken at that moment. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're going to lay back down? Now we got him. Here we go. And that's when all the trouble will start. Oh, I got a headache. Oh, I got the... It wasn't there.
Right.
Because I've been pushing him away.
Right.
And they're like, we can't have this, man. We're going to do this instead. And through pure intention, I just jumped out of bed. I came outside, pressed the coffee. Paula had it ready. And completely different series of events took place in this house.
Yep.
That
right
is
after that. Yeah.
All
the cats decided to leave. which was wonderful for us because there's usually someone.
They knew
you
it was
know,
time.
Yeah,
We knew it
there's
was.
some kind of interaction on air, and they all wanted to leave,
Now,
and
yes. So upgrades come through the practice, right? So it took a million tries to get it right.
right.
We've been talking about this for years now on the
Yeah,
show.
it's the intention.
And now it's working. It's working. We've done this a couple of times, but the new energies have been crazy. So don't run off to your pharmacy unless you're truly sick. A lot of these symptoms, they'll come and go within a day. Let's see. You'll get a little bit, depression?
Well,
All your joints will
could be
hurt.
anything. Yeah,
I
joint
had
pain,
everything.
depression,
I thought I had the full-on flu.
flu-like symptoms.
And then I spoke
headaches.
to Jimmy, and then he goes, "You sound better."
Oh, our FearLess family.
Yeah, and he goes, "You sound better." His knee was hurting, and I'm like, "Bro, I'm sending love at your knee." And he's like, "What's your symptoms?" And I put him up in the TFR Fearless group, in the group room, and I'm like, "Is anyone experiencing this?" And that got the most comments on most of the stuff. There was over 20 comments on everyone's symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going, "No, these aren't little comments. These are like people having issues, just like us."
Yeah.
And then some not.
Yeah.
Like some are just walking through this, like it's not a problem, because during the upgrades, maybe the pipes that need to be cleaned during the upgrade is already cleaning you. And
Right.
all right, so like Paula doesn't upgrade like I do, right? Like I go the psychedelic route, hardcore, and then she etherical translates. She rarely dips her feet in the that end of the pool, but she lives in that end of the pool, right? So the upgrades come through. You said it to me when we were talking. Do you think I'm not getting them because you're doing this? And then I'll smoke DMT and this big upgrade will happen. Oh my God, look, we're going to be the enlightened ones. We're unveiling our gnosis and all this other bullshit. I go kick in the bedroom door and Paula's sitting there like, "What's up?" And her head cracks open and she's got the halo. And I'm like, "Wait, what?" She didn't do I didn't watch her do any of the work. They're like, "What makes you think she has to do anything like you do?"
Because it's one modality.
Well,
That's
yeah,
one
people don't
modality.
understand.
That's one way you get in.
All roads lead to Oz. There's no wrong way to do it.
No.
The person, all right, we were saying this earlier, the person who's like planting, vegetables and a garden, the guy who walks his dog and loves his dog are getting, they're on the path just like we are. They're getting the upgrades just like we are. It's just that they're getting it in that path. We're getting them, me specifically, through ayahuasca, psychedelic use, and meditation, all the different, go across the board with it. So it's happening very quickly. But if I didn't go through this process, and when everyone had the heart attacks last week, they said you would have been dead, Frank. Frank would have been dead at that moment. Cocaine and cigarettes, Frank. Do you think your heart would have withstood that? What did I say last week? They stopped my heart while I was on the bed. I wonder why they did that. And then all my friends died. And I'm like, "Oh, really?" They're like, "Dude, the frequency changed."
Yep.
All right, so I was screaming, did the poles flip?
Oh, polar shift.
What would make the energy for your Taurus energy field, your energy that's around each human individual's body and of the planet, it's all right, 1 heart attack, maybe 2 heart attacks, maybe 3 heart attacks, no, not maybe, and then the 4th one being a psychedelic experience where they're like, "Yo, my man, we have to stop your heart right now." Like right now, we have to do it right now. We have to. I'm like, "Okay, go ahead, do it." Boom, dead. I was dead. I was gone. I was on the other side looking at my body. It didn't hurt. And I go, "But you guys do this to me all the time." And they go, "Right, that's what death is. You have the wrong definition again."
Right.
And I go, "No, but I knew this already." And then boom, lights came back on. Well, that's not happening with everyone.
No.
And others are just walking through it like they have no clue anything's happening. It's like the old story of if the guy that on the island, and that tribe on the island doesn't know anything about Christ, do they still not go to heaven if they die because they don't believe in the one true Lord God, Jesus Christ? Right. That's what I used to argue with people. What if they pray to the pineapple?
It doesn't matter.
And the pineapple just means life to them because it's what they eat.
Yes.
And they're like, "No, they go to hell." And I'm like, "No, you're absolutely wrong. 6 years old, and I'm telling you, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
And you're like definitely in your 50s. So whatever you've learned up to this point is shot to shit. No more for you. No soup. 1 month. Freaking Stabile. Sorry, I've said a few.
Are you gonna go back to your 14-day?
Yes, I'm gonna do it right now.
Okay.
I know. Listen, guys, I'm so sorry.
Nick. Nick is in the chat room. Nick, we had a pineapple episode at our house in the summer.
God, I love that. All right, so yeah, let me jump to this. I don't mean making this part of the show last.
No,
it's just the way things have been
okay.
going. Because if I talk about these upgrades in like a month's time while I'm telling the story on the day it happened, it's a month's past.
And you might not remember accurately.
It's not going to be accurate, and it's
Yeah.
not going to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No. You're right. And it's your show. You can say whatever you want.
It's indeed I can. All right, so last week we were on day 2 of the microdose, and I was in the shower. I was confronted by different parasites, and I cleared the house during the parasitic whatever. It was like a density layer that I witnessed, and they were in me, they were in Paul. Paul was purging, the cats were all running around, and I was in the shower tripping, and I'm going, this can't be happening to me. Everything was happy, go funny.
Yeah.
5 minutes ago,
before, yeah.
I was having an ET visitation, and then when I said, are you an ET from outer space? I got hit with no, we're earthlings like you, and we just live in the planet. But you knew this, right? And I'm like, oh, yeah. They're like, here comes the open contact.
Right.
It comes in dreams, comes in meditations. Then they come in your front door. There's like this thing your higher self has to agree to, or they won't come, because I think it's great, but it's kind of scary.
But they're very subtle about it.
So subtle that it feels like a whisper in a breeze sometimes, and other times you're just staring at them and they're looking at you in the eye,
right.
And you're going, but I know you're not standing there. Is that your consciousness? And they're like, well, you're seeing my consciousness come to you, because that's what I look like when I come to see you. So it's like they program you to get ready to see what they look like, so you're not scared to death. Right. When I was dazzled by the mantis being, I thought it was a human that was teaching me how to dance. Like I love Grease and all that. I used to do theater when I was a kid, and then the hip hop and 20 years of music with that.
Yeah, but the message is going to come.
I like to get down, so they would show up as a dude that was teaching me dance move.
Because the message is going to come to you in a manner in which you can understand.
Right, and then when I hit the correct moves,
yes,
I just looked over,
like
and it was a mantis being staring at me, and I'm like, wait a second, what just happened? But I was the energy was that of the guy that was just there, and I was like, oh, that's kind of rude, but it feels okay. But oh, wait a second, I know you, and then it just starts. And then it's a complete download where you're standing with a being, except they're not like, they don't look like abduction scenarios. They're just teaching me stuff. So there's movement involved. Oh, my hands go like this. Well, that's funny. That looks just like the way you hold your arms, mantis guy. And they're like, well, that shows you we don't talk this way, right? So if we're viewing you and you're doing these subtle moves, it's building your energy, and you're just thinking, Tai Chi style, mantis style, tiger crane style. And meanwhile, when you just do that and not attack someone with karate moves, right, and you just breathe and do that, that's a higher form of energy work. And they look at you and they go, oh, he's ready to talk. And they come down to talk. That's when they know. When they flash each other, they do these weird dance movements. And that's like, okay, we're ready. And then they all roll out at the same time and do whatever their task is. All right, let me get to this. So
okay.
Paul. All right, so after this was over, I cleared the whole house. Paula purged. She went down. The cats all went down. I came out of the house. I came out of the bathroom. You went to sleep. All the cats were sleeping.
Yep.
I had to throw up in the shower. It was rough.
I know, it was horrible.
I'm like, yo, this sucks sometimes. But everything got cleared out. And I'm being quick with the story just to catch up to this part. So I jumped into bed with Paula, and I'm going to read some of this. And no, it doesn't get dirty at this point. I was just laying in the bed. Everyone was knocked out. And I got a congratulations as I laid in the bed. I felt like a warm, I don't know, it was like a warm energy, almost like a breezy kind of up my chest, like, oh, that feels great. Now, I was seeing everything in the density, so for me, it was very visual. Mm-hmm. And then I'm laying there, and, I mean, I can't explain it. It was like a guy, the blue-purple kind of guy, the commander guy that I talked about on the ayahuasca experience. And I was like, hey, what's up with that guy? Is that me? Is that he looks awesome. He's got a cape. He's got this. He's got that. I'm like, I wonder if I'll ever see him again. And they were laughing about it, but he was rude a little bit. He didn't want to talk to me when I first met him. Well, now he's just floating like directly over me. Like the warm breeze turned into, oh, you just look up where someone's head would be floating directly over you. And he's staring me in the eyes. And I'm like, whoa. From that position, we went into a standing position where my body was laying there, and I realized I came out of my body, and we were just standing in the room. Right. And I said, you're amazing. And then I said, now that I've seen you, and the lights are on your face, and I'm looking right at you. And he moved his neck, and he turned his head. He was showing me, like, from different angles what he looked like. Like, you can look upon me, don't be scared, or whatever. That's when I noticed. I said, hey, are you me, man? Because you have the scar on your face, right? He has a metal plate in his jaw. And I'm like, where did you get that scar? And I jumped back to when Nick, FearLess family, Nicholas, he saw me while he was under, and he said I had a giant scar on my face. Yep. Now, this is where I start putting things together. I go, because we've been discussing how injuries will be on your fractal character, right? So somebody will have a very bad injury in one of the fractals, and it works its way back to you at some layer, whatever percentage, less level, or more. Level, on some level, it's there. And then as it passes you into the next level, it's on there. So my jaw, I got punched in the face in a fight once and broke my jaw, right? So I broke my palate. And then I played lacrosse and football, and then I got into a bunch of fights, actually, and I've been hit on the right side. So my jaw clicks, right? But it really, I'll just open my mouth, and it'll go click, 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 click. And I'm like, It's almost like somebody took a brick and hit me in the side of the head with it after all these years, and it's just injured. So Nick's in my apartment during his experience going, you got this giant scar, I just want to heal your face. And I'm like, dude, there's nothing wrong with me, man. My jaw just clicks. And the other guy
says the same thing.
The other guy's like, yo, man, during a fight, like a battle, he got picked up and spiked on his face. And it was just like a battle that these guys are out there to me, like a space bearing character. And they're like, dude, Arcturian, commander of this vessel that you were on multiple times. And then I'm like, wait. So you're me? And he's like, yes. Here's the deal. The Russian nesting doll, the big, when you remove all the pieces and put them in front of each other, right? If you make the big one come from behind and start collecting all the other ones, and then in reverse, you start on the other side, pushing towards the big guy, the little ones. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they were like, you're fixing your fractals. And you're like, oh, these are all versions of me. And I have to go into them and fix the negative and transmute. And he's like, yeah, that's great. Well, we're doing that on the higher levels to you.
Exactly.
So as above, so below. And I'm like, oh, wait a second. It's like, and you know why you keep seeing Nick? And Nick's like, oh, your face and the injury. They're like, because Nick's from over here with us, which was funny. I kept saying, I'm tight with him.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's weird. But I feel like this
brotherhood.
It's weird. It's like when the Punisher and Spider-Man are together, right? Like no matter what goes down, it's going down as a team. So him feeling for me for the injury, they were like, yo, he was there. He knows what happened to you. We're not going to show him that stuff. Like that's not what we're here to do, to show you the injury, you know? This is what it is.
Yeah.
So look at me now. And I'm like, so what the hell is going on here? And he's like, well, this is going to be interesting as the densities line up and we're all moving into the new energy in the new area, the new age, the new space, time, space coordinates into this new incoming energy. The clock face is lining all up, right? So everything is clicking into place. And it was like a portal. And this dude jumped into me. He was like, yo, it's a wrap. It's you and me now. I was like, you have technology on your face. He's like, we're here. Your whole crew, all the weird stuff is happening right in front of your face, and you can't see it. Now it's going to change. There's open contact has been initiated at the moment that these portals open. I go, hey, everything's off and changed. They're like, yes, the combinations have changed and clicked into place. You're not seeing it because you're being chemtrailed and poisoned and this, that, and the other thing. So you're far removed because there's so many layers still, but we're coming. We're here. It's time. This is it. So when that opened, he popped out and it was his density collecting me. That's why I'm like, Paul has seen it. I'm a little different. I'm like, yeah, there's some weird stuff going on with me. It's like I have weird knowledge of certain things that I had no clue.
Yes.
It's like I talk about it and you would go, well, what are you talking about? And I'm like, all these things that are going on and positions and characters that are in position that are ready to attack.
If they need to move in, light forces doing this, and this. And like, it's like I know what their steps are. And then the beings are talking to me and I've been getting their names. That's what I'm going to be talking about in the next few weeks is how I got everyone's names now. Mine was just revealed to me. It just was shouted out to me. And then I found Paula on a higher level and found her. And she was just like, do you want to know my name? And I'm like, yeah, how do you know? They're like, well, you want everybody's name. You literally like that stuff. You do.
So they were like, here, sing it along with me. So we're going to talk about all this different crazy stuff that's going on. But at the meantime, this character merged with me. Now, next week, I'm going to talk about the other character that merged with me the next day. This guy was blue. He was bald. He was purple. It's funny, my cat Buddy has the black eyeliner eyes.
Yep.
He has like that, but it's like more. It's not just eyeliner. It comes down. And I'm like, he has technology tattooed into his face. And it's so free. It looks amazing. But at the same time, it's really freaky. And I'm like, well, that's where I get it from as well. They're like, yeah, would you think the Egyptian character just shaved his head and grew the beard? They're like, you're really from here. So I've been looking up these characters, the Arcturians. I didn't really know much about them. I've seen and heard little snippets about them. But once again, it puts to the reality factor to set into your gnosis that these guys are the ones that turn into the light beings.
Yes.
Like straight up, these guys are the guardians. These guys are the ones that change physically in the environment into the light being.
We're going to lose it soon.
We're never going to lose anything. Why? Because we're the all. So, well, there we go.
Chat room folks, I love you. We love you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sticking with us. My name's Frank Castle. I'm here with for your protection from deception, but we're also your connection to the higher realms. We're going to start bringing in these weirdos one at a time. We love you. Take care of yourself because it's up.